Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Jessica's channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, today is going to be just a little bit more catch up and just talking free flowing of just what lessons I learned in the last season of my life that I would say was more of a contraction phase, and I connected to a lesson, and it was a very beautiful lesson because it taught me so much, and I'll kind of go into that. So oftentimes when we have contraction periods in our life, it can be very scary. There can be fear there because you feel like you don't have control, like terrible things might happen, you feel very unsatisfied in the environment that you're in when you're going through a contraction period. There is some truth that you're not seeing, that your world gets shaken up and you are forced to let go of control. The universe is a mirror back to you, right? But you are a light. You're a fraction of light. You lead with this fraction of light with love and with understanding and compassion with yourself, knowing that when you set the intention to see this world and this perspective that you have with so much light, then you can only receive love and light. It's about flowing, and sometimes you are going to have periods of contraction. That's just going to happen. It's going to be the case. So when you're going through these periods of contraction, it is a stressful time if you attach to the worry. And you need to know that worry is not real. It is just draining your energy. And always connect back to that love, and always connect to the action that you can take to change your situation. And some days it's gonna look different, and some days it's gonna you just be having faith and putting all your faith into what you have done and the seeds that you planted, and knowing that you did all that you could do, and now you're just waiting for God to come through, because that is just where you're at. You're at the end of your rope, and you've prayed about it, you've done your due diligence, your actions. If it's applying for a new job, changing positions, you've applied, you've done all the things, you've worked on your resume, and now you're just in the waiting period. So some days are going to look like that in the contraction period. But other days are going to really ask you to look in the mirror, to feel everything. Don't let anything slide by. Don't suppress anything. Your emotions are so key, and they give you so much insight on what you're going through and what is going on internally. Because remember, everything that we see comes from us. It comes from our perspective, from our third eye, from our thoughts, and our emotions are coming from our thoughts as well. It's all interconnected. We are mind, body, and soul. So when we get these thoughts, they trigger an emotion from our body. So knowing that you can change your thoughts are so powerful, and they construct and create your reality. That is just what it is. That is the truth. So when you're going through a contraction period, knowing that confidence and faith is so important in this process, because it is truly a blessing to go through a contraction period. It is such a blessing, because you're being shown your shadow, and that's what we came here to do. We came here to love our shadow. Because that's the only way that we grow. Our lights and our gifts are already ours. We are asked to be more godlike by transforming our shadows. And that's what contraction periods are. That's what they mean. And it is going to oh, the wind feels so nice. It is going to ask you to go through a bit of some pain, a bit of some there's going to be some resistance, because there's an old pattern that you're being asked to break that is controlling and that you're not letting more love in. So It's always that the universe is always going to ask you to evolve or repeat a lesson, and you get to choose. And for me personally, when you in this contraction period, I just did not want to change. I just realized that, you know, sometimes we can be very stubborn and we just kind of want the easy cruise. But sometimes you need to put in that hard work. And when you ask for a prayer, know that your prayers are so powerful and they're so impactful, and they will require change. So when you ask for a prayer, don't be surprised when things in your life just start changing and start rapidly shifting. And it is a blessing. Remember, when you're going through these periods of contraction, it is such a blessing. God is really pruning you and removing all of the dead that you don't need, all of the dead parts that no longer serve you. Think of a plant that needs to grow and nourish, and you know, in order for their fruit to be sweet and healthy and juicy and big, you know, you can't give your energy to the leaf or to, you know, parts that just aren't serving you and that won't serve you, and also that won't serve and give to other people, because we are so connected to everyone else. We are one big family. We all come from source. We are one love. We are one community. And what you do to yourself, you do to others. What you do to others, you do to yourself. They're a reflection of you. And knowing that when you see the world in this way, you start to understand so much and you start to really see the truth. And that's also really beautiful and impactful when you're going through these contraction periods in your life, because you realize that you're not a victim. You're not a victim to your circumstances. You're not a victim to your situation. And you also don't have to be the hero. You're not the hero. You let people triumph and know that they can do it on their own. They have free will. You can of course support and be there for them, but don't treat them like a victim. They can overcome, and it's a beautiful lesson. A bit personally for me, these past couple of years, I would say, God has really asked me to look deeply and look within me and really see how I am being a lighthouse to others, and what that means to really give and to share of myself, and what am I giving to the world, to my brothers and sisters. And it has a lot to do with career, and really having an open heart. God has really been working on me with that, and sharing my voice and sharing my heart and sharing my light. And it has been such a beautiful journey and a beautiful process where I'm learning just, you know, how important and impactful I am, my voice is. And we all have a powerful voice and we get to use it. And when we understand this, we are really able to see that all of the lessons that came our way were for our greatest good. They were meant to strengthen us and to build us. And it's also that self-awareness and also trusting yourself in the process, and knowing that you do know the way. This is your life. This is your lived experience. You get to trust yourself. No one else knows what's going on inside of your eyes, inside of your head, inside of your body, inside of you. Like, you are the one that says what this is, your interpretation, your perspective. You are the one that is in charge. And a lot of people on earth have a lot of trauma or childhood trauma where they were told that they can't trust themselves. I mean, it's kind of the way that the world was conditioned. You know, when we were up to 7, we're just a sponge and we soak everything in. We soak in all those programs, all of those limiting beliefs that we inherit from our parents. And that's not to blame them, because, you know, we were our ancestors in past lives. There's a reason we chose the family that we chose to be born into. It's not something that, like, we should see as, that we want to see as victimhood. It's actually a beautiful thing, because we got to learn from our parents. And when you understand that, you are able to see that moving forward, it's all about you changing those patterns. It's about that self-acceptance. When you accept yourself, when you're able to really love yourself and say, yeah, this is who I am, that's what I learned, and this is the process and the journey and the life that I'm living on. No one else is going to have this perspective. No one else is going to have this life. It is uniquely mine. I am uniquely and beautifully this individual, and this perspective is all mine, and I am a light, a radiant light that is so unique. When you see it, when you see the truth in that, when you see the truth in who you are, you have so much more compassion for yourself, because you're able to see just who you are, and that your patterns and that your darkness does not define you, and that you can always change it and transform it. And you can only do that with love. And that's what we came here to do. It's to face our emotions, to flow with our body, and flow with our needs, and flow with all of the things that are coming from us, and change the things that we don't need, that we are ready to transform. And we do that by connecting with our breath, which is something that I learned in my previous position, is discernment. You need to have discernment, and discernment comes from your connection of your breath. It's your constant connection, knowing that you are fully present, that you are fully here, that this is your awareness, and wherever you set your awareness to, wherever you set your attention to, is your reality. So you have to be so mindful about what you're focusing on. Are you focusing on only the negative? Are you focusing on limiting beliefs or scarcity? You really being able to see those, examine those, and change them, and say, wait, I actually don't believe that. I know that my thoughts create my reality. I know that I am abundant. I know that I am enough. I know that I have enough. And really being stern with yourself, because in those beliefs, being stubborn in that, that's a beautiful way to use stubbornness, because it's never about the outside. It's always within. If there's a problem, or if there's an issue, or if there's something that you are struggling with that triggers a chord within you, it's because you're connecting to that. And that's beautiful, because it's showing you where you need to grow more, and not beating yourself up for it. It's just detach from it. It's just a pattern you need to change. You don't need to define yourself because of it. You are just learning on this journey, and you and your inner child is just here to have fun, and you're here to have fun, and it's here to be joyful. And when you realize that you are the one creating this world and these situations, and that they're all meant to strengthen you and to help you grow, then you're really able to be more gentle with yourself, and to really love yourself more, to love on yourself more, and just say, yeah, that was a tough lesson, but it wasn't even that tough, because I learned so much and I gained so much from it. When you have the intention of love, you can only receive love. Love is the most powerful thing. It's the thing that keeps everything going. It's the thing that is monumental. It's a thing that keeps us all alive, keeps everything together. It's God. God is love. And the only truth is God. And that brings me to my next point. When you action towards this love, your whole world transforms, and it changes, and you just see everything around you in the true light and love that it is. You see it for what it is, and you're just always so loved and protected, because love always has a bubble around you of protection. Nothing can harm you or kill you, because your spirit is forever. Our fears are only in our mind. Our doubts are only in our mind. And that doubt is not from other people. If you're connecting to doubt outside, seeing people doubt you, or seeing people, question you, it's because you're questioning yourself. So when you're able to examine that and see that within and change it, then you will change your surroundings, you will change your perspective, you will connect to people who also see you and love you and accept you, and you're able to move forward. And that's a beautiful thing, because it shows you just how much power you have, how impactful you are, how much of a co-creator you are, how much power God has given you when He made you in His image, and how He made you have the possibility of rejuvenation and renewal, and that you can plant new seeds any day, and that you will need to water them, and sometimes the water comes with a lot of tears and lessons, a lot of tears that that you learn from, that the lesson trigger. But that's a beautiful thing, because that water and that energy is what breaks those old barriers, those old walls on your heart, and you're able to truly, truly see how beautiful, how impactful you are, and where you needed to let more love in. And what a beautiful, beautiful thing, because when you're able to do that, it's just another lesson, report card with no letter grades, just a report card saying that, you know what, this is what I learned, a new lesson learned in your pocket, and with so much love, and say, like, thank you, God, thank you. You've shown me that this tough experience turned out to be not so tough. It turned out to be exactly what I needed, and I'm so grateful for it. And you are always with me, and it's always divine timing when these things happen, and it's always divine timing when you scoop me right out of there when the time is right, when it's needed, when I'm needed to go. So it really allows you to reflect back and say that, and see the perfection in everything, because truly life is perfect and it's beautiful, and we are just here experiencing it. It's a beautiful experience. And in the time of contraction that I went through, I was also able to see where other parts of my life were actually blossoming and growing, where I felt stuck in career, and then I was able to see where I could express more of my creativity, where I could let some of that energy through, where I really actually wanted to act and share more of my heart and what was really important to me. And that was such a blessing. It was such a blessing, because I got to see where my heart was craving creativity, and where I was ready to express more of that, because I was no longer going to hold love in. So really, that discernment, that self-trust as well, self-love, in the process of going through contractions, you really let go of fear, because you realize, like, oh, I am going through this tough time, and it was because I tried to hold on to control and tried to take, the easy way out, the pattern that I had already built that isn't serving me any longer. So it's time to change that. So I hope that was helpful. Those are the things that I learned during my season of contraction. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.